This is Basic, the Atari 8-bit podcast.
This is Antic, the Atari 8-bit podcast. I'm Kay Savitz. Myra Marshall, along with her husband at the time, Roger Marshall, was co-founder of Computer Applications Tomorrow, a small software company that specialized in educational software for microcomputers. Most of the company's software was self-published and sold in small computer stores, including titles such as USA States and Capitals, Spelling Exam, and Alphabet Keyboard Primer. One title, Musical Computer, the Music Tutor, was sold by Atari Program Exchange. It first appeared in the spring 1982 APX catalog. That APX catalog says, Musical Computer, the Music Tutor, by Computer Applications Tomorrow, recommended for ages 6 and up, written in BASIC. Musical Computer, the Music Tutor, will appeal to the untapped musician in all of us. Good graphics and a catchy tune make this program an excellent educational tool for all ages. Even young children can understand the program's simple explanations. Musical Computer gives you a solid overview of the mechanics of music. You quickly learn about musical symbols, treble and bass clefs, rhythm and sharps and flats. You also learn the names of every musical note through simple phrases. Review comments. Musical Computer is a comprehensive look at musical concepts and notation. However, it's not very interactive, and you can't create or play music with it. Familiarity with music is helpful but not necessary. The treatments of rhythm and volume markings are particularly well done. Requires Atari Basic Language Cartridge. It was available on disc and cost $14.95. This interview took place on August 26, 2020.
It all started when I married my husband at the time, and he had recently graduated from Lawrence Institute of Technology. It's in Southfield, Michigan, and he graduated at the top of his class. He was very smart and passionate about computer science and electrical engineering. And he worked for Chrysler for a couple of years doing the robotics side. And later, just before it folded, he went on his own. I'm talking about Chrysler, how it had its downturn. And he went on his own and he developed Computer Applications Tomorrow, which is when we were married. It forms the letters cat. We were cat lovers. So actually he held that company until he passed on. He just passed a couple of years ago in San Diego, California, where we once lived. But going back to Atari, a long, long time ago, it was one of the first computers ever. And I remember it was a huge monstrosity, and it sat on top of a dining room table, and he was so excited about this. I thought it was a game. I thought it was just a game. But later I found out it was going to do all kinds of things, and I wasn't really interested because I was a teacher. I just received, I was just starting my teaching career. And so what happened is we started having children, and the source of income fell on Computer Applications Tomorrow. And that's what started our interest in creating the software. And we were really at the beginning of this whole software movement. And when I look back at it, if we had had different funding or maybe some different contacts, we could have really survived and made a big living out of it. But because we thought our software was pretty cool, pretty sweet. But the first program we made was Music Computer, and all it is just showing you the keys, the keyboard, and when you played the keys, you could hear a sound, and it was just phenomenal. I remembered that. So when later on we did some other programs, mostly educational, but Roger did some other stuff that wasn't educational in nature. And everybody wants to know if I got it in the schools, the software. No, we didn't get them in the schools. We just didn't think that it would. We didn't know how to do that. We were very young and didn't think about it. So we went to the stores that sold that sold computers. Well, actually, like typewriters and other machineries, and also music. And we put we had to create our own stand for these little packets. And we got a shrink wrap machine, and we shrink wrapped all of the programs, and it was really well done. I just can't remember the names of the stores. It was mostly in Detroit and in the suburbs of Detroit where we used to live. So my memory of Atari was the beginning of computer business, and it was quite mind-altering because we didn't understand what computers did or what they were going to do and all that. I think after that we got a Apple, one of the earlier Apples, and then we had an IBM. I remember we had just about every single computer possible.
Wow.
And most of it was on the dining room table.
So was the business a success? It sounds like, I mean, you went on for a while and you kept making software.
Yeah. It wasn't a big living. It was just like an extra thing. I think he made most of his income was really based on doing consulting work and individual software creation in companies. Later, we go from Detroit, and that's where we lived all of our time. And like I said, Roger passed about 2 years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
He was still doing his consulting, Computer Applications Tomorrow. He was very successful with it. But as far as, selling the actual computer program, shrink wrap, individual, from Computer Applications Tomorrow to the outlet, it was pretty much done about 10 years ago. Mostly all of the income that was done was personal consulting, not doing the software. But okay. I remember we were one of the very first ones to create this software for the computer, and it was all on Atari, and then later Apple, and the clone of the IBM. And I thought there was another computer, but I can't remember what it is.
It might have been the TRS-80.
Yes, that's it. That's it. It was. Like I told you, we had all of the computers there.
I guess the question is, where did you eat your meals if the dining room table is covered in computers?
Yeah, well, when you're young and starting out, I guess you don't think about it.
So the musical computer one, it looks like most of these you sold directly to stores, but the musical computer you sold through Atari, through their Atari Program Exchange program.
Yes, I remember that. I don't remember what the outcome was, though, but I remember it was done through that exchange. The Atari had a very short life. It was very short-lived. I'm just, a couple of years, 5 years? Is that how long it really was?
Those
prominent?
computers launched. I mean, it was prominent from. Launched in '79, and then the 8-bits by '85 or something. They had been supplanted by other things, faster machines. So, yeah. So yeah, it was a short-lived thing. The heyday.
Very
anyway.
short-lived. Yeah. But it was quite remarkable that Roger was able to create the software for all of the computers that were available. It wasn't just for the Atari, but the Atari was the very first one.
There was a program called Robcat. Do you remember what that was?
Yes.
What was that?
I do. Well, that was after he was after his time at Chrysler, you know, when a car goes down an assembly line, it used to be that people would take the part and put it onto the car some way. You know, I'm just simplifying everything.
Mm-hmm.
So robotics came around, and so most of the assembly line now is done by robotics. I mean, you have to train it and all, but it's a machine that does all the work. You just have to make sure that it's picking up the right part at the right time and placing it into the car at the right time. That was what this was all about. No, I don't remember the operations of the program, but I do remember that one was quite ingenious, shall I say. It was he used all of his knowledge about how the robotics works on the actual assembly line and put it in this computer program. Do you have the program there?
It's available online, yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder who's going to get the profits if anybody buys it.
Nobody's buying this program. I mean, it's out there, but I don't think it's for sale. It's just something that people can download, but more as a curiosity now.
It's probably been copied by somebody.
Right.
I do remember how ingenious it was, though, because when you think about it, it took away jobs of humans. You know, that's what robotics.
Right.
I don't remember what it did, though. The program. Yeah,
it was something. So I was asking. It's something about robotics and palletizing and welding and.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, you could make the you press the keys and you could make it pick up things on the screen. So it was like an early video game, really. Yeah, that's what it was. You could program it yourself using the information and have it pick up things.
Oh, I see. Like learning how a robot might work.
Yes.
How to control one.
And you could actually pick up little blocks and pile them up on top of each other and show how it would work. Yes.
Neat.
Yes.
You had a states and capitals program.
Yes. To memorize the states and capitals. But if I ask my grandkids what are the capitals of the states, oh, we don't know. Yeah, this is timeless. I mean, that's why I created that one.
Sure.
Timeless.
So
yeah.
you said you created it.
Yes, and he did the software, and I did it on paper, and then he transferred it from the paper into a computer program.
So it sounds like you were coming up with the ideas for some of these things, and then writing the content, and then he was coding it up for you.
Yes, correct.
All right, I have some other titles. I'd like just say the names of the software that I have, and if you remember something, speak up. Otherwise, we can just move on. Okay? I have a lot of titles here. One called Alpha Strike.
I don't remember Alpha Strike. It must have to do with capital letters. When are you going to capitalize? It's mostly a grammar program.
Alphabet Keyboard Primer.
I don't remember that one. I know I did it, but I don't remember it.
There was biology exam, chemistry exam, English exam, and math exam.
Wow. You know, after he passed, we went through all of the paperwork and stuff, and I think most of the stuff was trashed. I don't remember that.
That was going to be my next question. Do you have any of the software anymore?
No, I don't.
A lot of it is lost to the sands of time. So I have the titles of these, but the software has been lost. There was one called Golly Gee Graphics. Golly Gee.
Yes, that was my idea.
What was it?
I don't remember.
There's one about learning clocks. What does the clock say?
Yeah, that's in school. A lot of attention is made to teach children how to read the time. Not everything is digital. You know, you have to know where the small hand is and the big hand is, and so it would pop up, and you'd have to select the answer what the time was. It would pop up, you know, let's say 5 to 3, and you'd have to say 2:55.
Sure.
It would be one of the answers. Yeah.
Nice. So what do you do today?
I'm retired. I'm a retired teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And I do some tutoring, but since this COVID hit, nobody wants to come over.
Right.
So I live in, close to you in Gig Harbor, Washington, where I can see I'm right in front of the Sound,
Mm-hmm.
and I can see boats going in and out. It's very beautiful here and very peaceful. It's an ideal place to retire.
Oh, how nice. Cool. Is there anything about that time that I haven't asked you that I should have?
I'm about 20 years older than you are. At that time, when this stuff came out, there was a sense of misunderstanding and inattention to this computer, the Atari. It didn't have any sense of attraction to most people. It seemed like it was only attractive to those that were in the engineering or computer business. But for the layperson, let's say a teacher or somebody that wasn't involved with it, it was just, something that we thought was just gonna go away. It wasn't really important. So now I look back at it and I can see that it was the beginning of something.
I think this is my last question, Myra. If you could send a message to the people who still like to use Atari computers today, and you can right now, what would you tell them?
Hold on to the computers. They'll be worth something someday. I wish I had all the Barbie dolls and all the dolls that they say are supposed to be worth something. It really meant something, and I'm sure it's gonna hold its value.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you. I appreciate you making all this educational software. As someone who was using computers in schools, it was just so exciting to sit in front of a computer to do anything, frankly, and even if it was just a math drill or let's learn to name the notes on the staff or something. It was an exciting new way to learn, and because of software like that you made like this, it got me and many other people into computers and learning in general.
Well, that's good. It's kind of sad now with this COVID that the kids are not allowed in the classroom, that not all students have their own laptop now, because it costs money to have a laptop at home. And some of like over here in Gig Harbor, it's very affluent, and everyone's got a laptop. It was very easy to get their own laptop. But I think about, the less affluent areas, let's say in Seattle or even in Portland, are they all getting a laptop to use so that they don't have to go in the classroom?
Around here, it's yes. I mean, the school districts basically will give a Chromebook, which is an inexpensive laptop, to anyone who needs one. But we're relatively lucky in this state that I don't know that everyone has that ability.
Like you say, it's now it's just accepted. This is. I have one friend back in Detroit. I won't say her name, but she's my age, and she has no computer. I can't send her anything through an iPhone. Send her a picture. The only way I can send her a picture, I have to go to CVS and download the picture onto their system and actually make a hard picture and put it in an envelope and send it to her. And I cannot even leave a message on a voicemail because she doesn't have a voicemail. So this person is lost, and it's so sad. She's a dinosaur. She's allowed herself to just remain complacent at how things were when she was going through, let's say, the time of the Atari, when the Atari was hit. So that's very sad. And, we spend a lot of time talking about young people needing a Chromebook or a computer, but we forget about the older people. A lot of them just don't have the computers and someone to educate them. She has no children, so nobody's helping her, and she has no husband. It's very sad. And so that population is one that, they grew up with Atari, but yet they've been lost.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them didn't keep up with the times.
Right. And it must be very isolating.
Yes, I would think so. Without computers and without all this technology, you're just left behind. And you're right, it is isolating.
Yeah. Well, we went from one computer on the dining room table to computers everywhere and in your pockets, and you can't get away from them.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think I have what I need. Is there anything else that you feel you need to tell me?
No.
Great.
Good job there, taking this up and finding something to reminisce about.
Thank you, Myra.
We figured it out.
We figured it out. It took me almost more than 4 years to find and talk to you, but it was well worth it, and I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
That's all I can remember about Atari.
Okay.
All right. Good luck to you.
If you enjoy these interviews and would like to contribute, make a tax-deductible contribution to the Internet Archive, a nonprofit digital library that has done incredible things to preserve computer history. Make your tax-deductible contribution at archive.org/donate. Thanks.